G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another brand new rebuild, this time using Olympic Lyon in France after some of their financial troubles, having a little slap on the wrist of UEFA and the French League. And yeah, we're just here to rebuild them because they've lost a couple of players. Their finances have been a little bit screwed over, but we do have an up-to-date transfer database on this rebuild, so let's go straight into it to see what has been going on. Now, the transfer database that I have been using, we do have the players that have come in over this summer period, so the likes of Ruben Kluivert, Dominic Grief, Adam Karabek and Martin Satriano, an old favourite of most people who play FM because he's pretty decent. Both of them were on loan. Dominic Grief got brought in for 2.1 million and Ruben Kluivert got brought in for a free transfer from Dordrecht. Ruben Kluivert, also one of the sons of the great striker Patrick Kluivert. But obviously there were other players that left. Kadewere went to Aris Salonika. Obviously Ryan Cherki went to Man City. Lacazette has gone over to Saudi. There's a few other players that have gone out. They did raise a lot of money. And the finances actually aren't too bad now. We've just got no transfer budget for the start of this season. So I haven't brought in any players. To be honest, I've just left the squad as it is, and the squad is looking like this. It's not too bad, actually. Obviously, they did bring in a couple of players themselves, as I've alluded to, but one player that wasn't on that list, but is in the squad, is Tyler Morton. Now, Tyler Morton is going to be an absolute game changer for us, I think. In the French League, I think he'll do really, really well. He's very highly rated, almost a 4.5 star. He's at a 3-star ability already. Doesn't look overly fantastic, but he does have a couple of interesting attributes. The passing and the vision makes him almost a perfect deep line playmaker, which is the role that I'm going to play him in. Speaking of roles that I'm going to play, tactically it is going to be pretty much the bog standard 4-2-3-1 because that's how the squad settles. I have changed the DLP to a regista just to see how that goes, and with him being a regista, I wanted a more anchor role in the centre of midfield, which will be probably Tolisso or Mangala that's going to take over that one. But obviously they do have a couple of very, very talented wingers. Ernest Nuama is an incredible winger, such agility and pace and acceleration on him. Really good dribbling, really good technique. I've got high hopes for this 21-year-old Ghanaian. He's got a lot of very good pros in there. The only problem is he is a little bit injury prone. Hopefully that will go over time, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And then obviously in real life there was a lot of talk about this chap here, Malik Fofana, who in the end decided to stay at the club for another season. Me personally, I don't rate him that highly, but he is rated highly on the game. He is rated quite highly in real life. I just don't see it. I don't know whether the game initially, when it came out 2 years ago, didn't see that potential and just gave him some real duff attributes. Physically, he is nowhere near. He's rapid, but that is about it. He's not naturally fit. He doesn't have good jumping reach. He'll fall over with the blow of a wind. Doesn't have much stamina, so he can't last all game. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how this one plays out, but I'm going to shoe him in for this season to see how he gets on, see what he can produce in that inverted winger role. So they got wing backs, ball playing defenders, and a defensive sweeper keeper, along with a pressing forward, which more than likely will be Satriano, because one issue that we do have is that he's really our only striker. This is the problem that they had financially. They didn't get in all the players that they wanted. I'm kind of hamstrung a little bit by that. Competitions wise, we are in the Europa League, but obviously because it's an up-to-date database on an old game, we're in the group stage of the old system of the Europa League. Now we're into our second year in real life of the league phase. I couldn't skip around that. Obviously we have the French League where we had to compete against PSG. This is going to be fun, trying to dislodge them. Well, we'll see. We will see. But at the start of the season, I'll go over the schedule in a second. We haven't done too bad. And then obviously there is just the French Cup. So only 3 trophies to go for this season, as it is in France. Scheduling wise, we've started off pretty well. Toulouse 3-0, Lorient 3-0, a 0-0 against Nice, and a 1-1 against Auxerre. Auxerre one, a little bit disappointing considering they were down to 10 men. But okay, for a first season hit, that's not too bad. Staffing wise as well, I'll show you guys very, very quickly. I need a couple of more coaches in, but I'm biding my time to see who I can bring in. I've almost got it stacked out, which isn't too bad, so hopefully that will stand us in good stead for this season. So here we go. I'm going to roll season 1 highlights and see where we end up. My target is to, over this 5-year rebuild, is to eventually win the league and a European trophy. Can we do it in our first season? I seriously doubt it when we're up against the juggernauts of PSG, but let's go and find out and see how we do. Competition versus PSG will always be fierce, and season 1 proved to be no different. After taking the scalps of Rennes and Monaco in the French Cup, it was PSG in the semi-finals. But thanks to a late collapse, we were knocked out comfortably. After a decent start in the league, our second half season form was what cost us. Results like a 3-0 versus Toulouse, then to lose 5-2 to Lille, a 5-1 win versus Strasbourg, to lose 4-0 to Marseille was our story of the season, as we ended up finishing 5th. But in Europe, we were the surprise package. Topping our group into the round of 16, we faced Bilbao next, and a 4-3 aggregate win meant Club Brugge in the quarterfinals, and another 4-2 aggregate win. It was a tight affair in the semi-finals versus Napoli, but after a tight 2-1 aggregate win, we reached the final to face the other Italians, Atalanta. After going 0-0 for the full 90 minutes, it was heartbreak. In the 122nd minute, a goal that cost us as we lost the final 2-1. Well, after all that, you know what? I'm actually going to take that as a first season hit, because when I looked at the club vision at the start of the season, the club vision was to qualify for Europe again, not Champions League, just for Europe, and finish in the top 6. That has been achieved. If we have a look at the league table, now we are way off, 57 points to 84 points behind PSG. So that is nearly 30 points behind. And we had an horrendous end to the season, 3 losses and 1 draw, which means we've dropped 11 points there. If we'd won those games, and ironically we drew against PSG, if we won those games, we could have been in the Champions League spot. But, speaking of Champions League spots, we should have been in the Champions League. Ugh. Got all the way to the final of the Europa League, and then to lose in extra time to Atalanta is heartbreaking, to say the least. But let's have a look at the group stages. We'll have a look at all groups, and we'll scroll down. Where are we? There we go. So we are Group G. I'll pull that up a little bit easier. Group G. So we finished top. 3 wins, 3 draws. Basel, Bologna, Ludogorets. Actually, to be fair, 2 draws against Bologna and a draw against Basel. We should have been creasing that, to be fair, but we still finished top, so we can't really complain too much. No knockout round, so we got to the round of 16 where we beat Bilbao in a great game 4-3. Quarter-final, again, Club Brugge 4-2, not too bad at all. And then beating Napoli, that's a big one, but we just couldn't go that one step further, annoyingly beating Atalanta. And then obviously we had the French Cup where we got knocked out in the semis as well against PSG, so PSG I think ended up going, yeah, they did. Ended up doing a domestic double. That is not a surprise. In fact, let's have a look at PSG. Did they do anything for the Champions League? No, because this isn't up to date on their screen. They obviously did win the Champions League, but I need to go and have a look at the Champions League now. Found it. So, actually, they didn't actually make it to the final this year, so it is just a domestic double for PSG. Oh well, it is what it is. Let's have a look at the squad then. So, squad-wise, Grief played 52 games this season, 7 average rating. That's not too bad. He's an okay keeper, but he's nothing amazing. I will be looking to replace him. Obviously, our 3 stars we'll have a look at. Karabakh came out on top, and he does have, because he's on loan, he does have a contract clause of 2.5 million for somebody who got 17 goals and 6 assists. That's not bad. Satriano got 16 and 4. That's not too bad at all. Nuama got 10 and 15. But he did pick up an injury where he broke his ankle, so that kept him out from April, so he missed the end of the season. It's a little bit disappointing. Niakate got 10 goals from centre-back. That's mental. But we'll have a look at Fofana. Fofana actually got 14 assists, which isn't too bad. His developments, he has improved. Okay. He is 21 though, so I want to see more improvement, realistically. I've seen more improvement from better players on this. And Tyler Morton, 3 goals and 9 assists after playing that season. And again, he's improved. Actually, he's improved a lot. He's gone up a couple of attribute numbers on the important ones. His technique has got better. His off the ball, his first touch and his dribbling has got better. So he's turning into a really good defensive midfielder. All in all, I can't complain too much at that as a first season. European final, yeah, okay. Financially wise though, 141 million in the bank, 51 million in the transfer budget. I could definitely do something with that. So I'm going to go and load up season number 2, and I'll see you guys in a few seconds. So here we are for season number 2, and I am feeling hopeful. That's to say that I have spent a little bit of money. We are obviously well into the season now. We're on the 2nd of September. We've played 4 games. We've won 3 and drawn 1, so that's a good start to the season again. In fact, let's go and have a look at the transfers first, and I'll show you the transfers that I've done. So before the tick over, I brought in 2 players for 9.5 million. Maganis Akliush, I think that's how you say it. 1.6 million. He was on the transfer list. Quite a decent attacking midfielder, and I thought somebody that could back up Karabakh for the season. He's already played French League football for Monaco, a few games there, so I thought, you know what, why not? And also, I brought in Valentin Gomez. I wanted another centre-back to come in, especially a left-foot centre-back. And again, he was on the transfer list, and he's really good. Still young, 23, got good physicals, really good mentals. I think this guy could develop into something really, really good for us. We did sell a few players. In fact, only 1 player sold and the rest are on loan before the takeover. And then I made about another 4.5 million from sales. Maitland-Niles has gone, Tagliafico has gone, Tessman has gone. I was trying to get a few of the foreign players, or sorry, the non-EU players out of the squad, just to make the registration purposes a little bit easier. In the end, like I said, I did bring in Satriano and Karabakh permanently for 4 million and 2.5 million. I thought it was a wise decision because they produced the goods for us last season. Then I brought in a couple of free transfers. Another right back who I've used before, Musa Wagyu, I have no idea, Wagyu. That's how I'm going to say it. Right back, Senegalese, 27, in his prime. I think he'll do a really, really good job for us. I have used him before. Jean-Philippe Mateta. Let his contract run out at Palace. I thought, you know what, as a striker, him and Satriano can fight it out this season. Still a very good striker. I think he could do well in the French League. I wanted another centre-back to come in with Gomez to fight up against the centre-backs that I already had. And Aruna Sangate was at Le Havre. I managed to get him for 5 million because Le Havre got relegated and now his valuation has trebled. And again, he's another player that I have used occasionally on this game, and he does turn out to be an absolute beast of a centre-back. So I'm hoping that he will, well, he is starting already. He's played 3 games, and he is starting to improve. 24 years old, so he's got plenty of time to do that. And finally, I wanted a better left-back, and that's where I spent the vast majority of my money. Melvin Bard, the French left-back from Nice. Actually, I've only just seen that. Formerly of our youth academy, has come back to the club. So no wonder he was eager to come back. And he's turned out to be a really good left back, and he's coming into his prime as well. So I think that is a really good deal for 12.5 million. Good deal all round, I'd say. Scheduling wise, we have started off again really, really well. Saint Etienne 3-0, Reims 4-0, Rennes 3-1, great. Nantes 2-2, great start. No qualms about that whatsoever. We are straight into the Europa League proper, which if I have a quick look at the fixtures and who we got Rangers, AZ Alkmaar, Valencia, Wolfsburg, Feyenoord, Ferencváros, Verden, and Newcastle. Where are the Swiss? Okay, so I've never heard of them before. I apologise if there is any Verden fans watching this, but I've never heard of them. Squad-wise, we are looking very, very well stacked out now. I've brought a couple of players through the youth system, but we've got good cover in every single position that I want. I think we can get a little bit more competitive this season. That's what I'm hoping. No second season syndrome. I want it straight off the bat. Before we go and roll the highlights, let's have a quick look at the club vision. And they are expecting us to reach the Europa League proper, qualify for the Europa League, and latter stages of the French Cup again. So they're not expecting Champions League football this season again. Financially wise, we're still looking very, very pretty. 115 million in the bank. I've still got about 20 million left in the transfer budget. But again, it was all about attracting the players. So I'm going to run the second season highlights. Fingers crossed we can produce something similar to last season. I wouldn't mind getting to another Europa League final. That'd be a bonus for us. And maybe we could even win it this time. I would like a French Cup as well, if possible. Let's go and find out and see what happens. I wanted to see signs of improvement this season, and we got it. In the league before Christmas, we had a nice time with some Brest, a 4-2 win. smashed Paris FC 6-1, Montpellier 6-2, and we even beat PSG 2-0. But second half of the season form again faltered, but we just about managed to qualify for the Champions League on goal difference. In the French Cup, it was an early exit to RC Lens 4-0, but in Europe, well, that was a different story altogether. In the league phase, we finished second after 6 wins and 2 draws. In an epic 5-4 clash, we beat Wolfsburg in the round of 16. And next, it was the table toppers, Aston Villa, who we beat 4-2 on aggregate to face our French rivals, Lyon, in the semi-finals. And we go into the final for the second time of asking after beating them 7-4 on aggregate to face Newcastle. And in a very tight affair, it took 1 goal as we sealed the win to become Europa League champions. Well, what a season we have had. Wow. Actually, I'm really happy with that. So, firstly, before we go on to anything else, looking at the league table, we have managed to qualify for the Champions League. So we hit above our target again. Only just, and we almost threw it away with 3 losses towards the end of the season. Our end of season form in the last 2 seasons has been abysmal. And we are still 26 points off PSG, so we have still got a whopping gap to close up. But we would have qualified for the Champions League anyway because we won the Europa League 1-0 versus Newcastle. Come on. So we'll have a little look over this. Let's have a look at the league phase. We finished second behind Aston Villa, who went 8 for 8, by the way. Wow. We drew 2 against Newcastle, ironically, and RZ, and 6 wins with only 1 goal conceded as well. We were tight. Round of 16, we got past Wolfsburg in an absolute epic clash, obviously 5-4. Quarterfinal, 4-2 against Aston Villa, who finished top of the league, by the way. Just remember that. Semi-finals, an absolute immense clash against our French rivals, Lille, 7-4 in aggregate, only to go to the final and win it 1-0 with a tight defence and beating Newcastle. Newcastle, by the way, who have some immense players in here. They've still got Walter Marder in there, obviously Anthony Gordon, Jacob Ramsey's still in there, Anthony Alanga, Guimaraes is still there, Tonali, so they've still got a very good side, and we managed to beat them. So either or, we managed to qualify for the Champions League this season. And it's that we need. Because we have a look at the finances, 150 million in the bank almost, 65 million to spend next season. That's good. I'm proper happy with that. That is a good amount to bring in some real quality. Because if we have a look at the squad, I will admit, I did pause it round the next gen time, so around the end of March. Valentin Gomez, for some reason, wasn't being played. It was Niakate and Sangate who was being played. He was getting unhappy, but I wanted to keep hold of him, so I put Gomez in permanently to get some more game time, and it's worked, and he's produced, actually. He's got a 7 average rating, so he's turned out to be quite a decent decision, that one in the end. But if I arrange it, 23 goals from Satriano in 50 games. That's good. 15 and 9. That's a great output from Fofana. He's turned the corner a bit. But again, attribute-wise, just doesn't look it. His pace has increased. And he's had his best season yet, but is he going to get any better than that? Realistically, I don't know. I'm still on the fence with him. I really am. Karabek, 14 and 8. That's really good. Nuama, 13 and 10. Again, not really improving too much, but producing the goods. Again, disappointing. Tyler Morton, though, has had a blinding season. 8 goals and 10 assists in 50 appearances in total. Improving all around. Again, it's just his physicality that lets him down, but he is that good of a passer of a ball. He could do it. He could do it all. Then, obviously, Gomez, he got 5 goals and 3 assists, which isn't too bad. 9 assists from Akliouche, 7 assists from Mangala, weirdly enough. 7 from Wegu, who's playing at right back. So, the team has really chipped in for this season. And let's have a quick look at the club vision for next season. Competitive in the Champions League and qualify for the Champions League again. So now they're expecting Champions League football for season 3 and onwards. Well, there we have it, folks. That is the end of season 2. I'm going to go and load up season number 3 before we come to the end of this video, and I will see you guys in a few seconds. And here we are for season number 3, and we are good to go. We are at the 1st of September, so again, we've played a few games. We've lost 1, won 3. I don't like losing it this early in the season because it just hampers us, but you may have noticed already from this little screen, there has been some incomings. That is for certain. I had a lot of money to spend. I brought in a little bit of money, and yeah, the finances are looking that way. I've only got about 7 million left, or nearly 8 million actually. Still 100 million in the bank, so we've done pretty well there. And we will pick up some money from the Champions League this year. But transfers-wise, let's have a little look-see at that. So, nobody came in before the tick over, and there was a reason for that, because if we have a look at the competitions, in fact, actually, I'm going to have to look at the schedule first. We were in the Club World Cup for some strange reason. I don't know why. We didn't do very well, and we got knocked out literally in the second round. And I was quite happy about that. I didn't want us to go on a long run for that one. But as you can see, we've done really, really well. Our one blip being Strasbourg, losing 1-0 at home. I can't figure that one out. After beating Toulouse 6-1, Lyon 2-1, Auxerre 3-1. We won the Super Cup against Liverpool on penalties by their former striker. And I'll show you on the transfers in a second on that. And also that weird European South American Club Challenge Cup. We beat Belgrano from, I believe they're Argentinian, I think. Let's quick check that. Yes. Of course, they're Belgrano. Yes, they are Argentinian. And beat them 4-0. So we have actually picked up 2 bits of silverware already this season, which isn't too bad at all. But I digress slightly. Let's have a look at the transfers even. So before the tick over, did we have anything go out? We had Abner Vinicius. He left for Rennes, 7.5 million. Mateta only lasted 1 season. He didn't get any game time, so he was unhappy. He's gone for 8 million. And Ruben Kleiber, 500,000, gone to Bordeaux. No ins, and then I did spend big, but also another 16.5 million brought in through Mangala, going to Saudi Arabia, 11 million. Matt Turner went to Spain, 3 million. Sulked and went to Lens for 2.5 million. And a few free transfers went out. Chaleta Carr had left as well, a few more other loans. But this is where we get juicy. Okay, I'll start with the free transfers first. Diego Lainez, Mexican winger, never heard of him before, but I really like his attributes. Great dribbling, technique, flair, and great physicals for a winger. Perfect for me. Lucas Toussaint was another free transfer. Former Lyon player again. Went to play for Hertha, then Brest. Nice. And has come back to Lyon on a free transfer just to fill the squad out a little bit and act as a squad player. And then I wanted a couple more defensive backups. Zeno de Bast from Sporting Lisbon for 6.5 million. Another centre-back, great option. Left-back backup, Bradley Locko from Brest again. I've got a nice pair from Brest now. And he's come in to cover Melvin Bard, although he is injured already, but it's only a couple of days. It's fine. Good backup, I think. I wanted somebody to come in and give some grief in goal, and that is Rome Jaden Awasu Odoro. I've bought him before. He can turn out to be a pretty good goalkeeper. Let's see how things go for this season. Arjan Ibrahimovic from Bayern Munich. Now, he's made a name for himself in real life. He's kind of burst onto the scene, and I was quite surprised I managed to be able to get him. But for 10 million or 11 million, great dribbling, great technique, really good physicals, really good mentals already for a 21-year-old. I think this guy could actually be a bargain of the season. We'll see how he gets on. Then I wanted, before I go on to the 2 big signings, I wanted another defensive midfielder backup, and I ended up going for 2. So the first one was Youssef Fofana. He was on the transfer list for, I think he was on the transfer list for like 8 million, and then I accidentally clicked accept, and Milan added on like an extra 3 million in add-ons before I even realised what happened. So it was my mistake. 11 million for him though. French international. Pretty good all-round in the ball-winning midfield department. He's a former Strasbourg and Monaco player, so yeah, ticks all the boxes. Then the big 2. First one, the other defensive midfielder I brought in, Mads Bistrup, coming into his prime, Danish midfielder, valued up to 50 million already, almost. Great defensive midfielder, great determination, work rate, stamina, all the physicals. He's got the technicals to go with it. He started really well with 2 assists in 5 games, 7.2 average rating. I'll take that, especially for 16 million. And then I brought in the main guy you'll see on the thumbnail, Ugo Ekitike from Liverpool. Again, been done dirty on this game, I think. And I think come FM26, he will get a bit of a boost up. But he's come in and he's scored 5 goals, 1 assist in 6 games. So he's kept Satriano out the side for 15.25 million, 3 goals in 4 for the league, an assist and a player of the match. Really can't complain of that. Really good overall all-rounder, I would say. And he's only going to get better because he's only 25, so he can still improve a little bit. So I'm very, very happy with that. And again, if we have a look at the squad is very nicely balanced and stacked out now. I've got cover all across the board. Tactically wise, coming into Season 3, I have changed some of the player roles a little bit. I've gone a little bit more adventurous with the wing backs going on to support roles. I've changed the DLP and the regista and the anchor to ball winner and a DLP now. Ekatike up front as the complete forward, not a pressing forward. And I changed it to a winger on this side to accommodate Fofana better or Lenez as well. And there we have it for season number 3. I'm going to roll the first part of the highlights. And then you guys have to come and join me again for part number 2 to see how the rest of season 3 gets on as we roll into season 4 and 5. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this content. To keep up to date with the content that is being produced by this channel, watch out for FM24 content. It is coming soon. Only a couple of more months to go, and I cannot wait. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Ta-ra. Our first season in the Champions League started well with a 2-1 win versus Leipzig. But other results have been tough, leaving us teetering on the edge of not qualifying at all with 2 games left. With no French Cup started yet, we could focus on the league. 6-1 win versus Toulouse, a 2-0 win versus Guingamp, and a 4-1 versus Red Star FC stood us in good stead. But a run of no wins in 4 meant we were outside the Champions League spots. You'll have to join us for part 2 to see if we can recover and qualify for the Champions League again, or maybe win a French Cup.